Shalom, welcome. It was only 83 years ago on the night of November 9, 1938, when synagogues and Jewish businesses in Austria, Germany, and the Sudetenland were vandalized in the state-sanctioned pogrom that became to be known as the Kristallnacht, or the Night of the Broken Glass. On that very night, in addition to the destruction of Jewish properties, almost 100 Jews were murdered, and in the aftermath, over 30,000 arrested and sent to the concentration camps. Kristallnacht was the beginning of the final solution, or the Holocaust, a systematic destruction of the European Jewry by the Nazis and their collaborators. 6 million Jews had perished in the end, consumed by the flames of brutality, ignorance, and hate. It's been 83 years since, but we still remember it all. The images of burning buildings and broken souls are forever etched into our collective Jewish memory. And so today we gather to recall and remember the events of the Kristallnacht and to give tribute to the lives and the livelihoods that were shattered. We gather to heal and through music and words to remind ourselves of our humanity in this still very much imperfect world. We also come to share our hopes for the better tomorrow, one in which the scattered pieces of the broken glass will come together as one, an embodiment of the perfect world that is to come. May we all partake in its colorful diversity and light. At this time, I would like to thank Lee Zolden, Carrie Wolovic, and Mary Lynn Pross of the historic Chicago Loop Synagogue for hosting and organizing this event, and to my congregation, Beth Hillel B'nai Emunah in Wilmette. Thank you also to our amazing performers, Lawrence Neuman and his wife Qing, as well as their son, Maurice, members of Chicago Symphony Orchestra, David Berger of KM, Cantor David Berger of KM Isaiah Israel, and Cantor Susan Lewis-Freidman of Temple Jeremiah, to Kol Zimrah Jewish Community Singers and Margot Schwartz-Newton, and to KM Isaiah Israel Community Chorale. A special thank you goes to our distinguished guests, Yinam Cohen, Consul General of Israel to Midwest, and Wolfganf Mossinger, Consul General of the Federal Republic of Germany. Last but not least, I want to thank all of you who showed their appreciation and support by purchasing tickets, making donations to the program. Thank you for your generosity and for joining us today, both in person and online. And before we go on with the program, I just would like to ask everyone to please turn your cell phones off, and please make sure to have your masks fully covering your face. Enjoy the program. Central to Midwest. Yinam Cohen to the microphone.
Good evening. On this day, 83 years ago, began the acts that led to the destruction of European Jewry. The strategic dehumanization of the Jewish people had gone on for long enough to make hate speech and incitement almost easy. The world remained indifferent as Nazi Germany perpetrated a genocide that marked a before and after in our history and in human history. We remember the past, and of course, we must never forget it. And through the power of hope, we soar towards the future. After all, that is Israel's national anthem, Hatikva, the hope, the source of our soul. The present couldn't be different. Israel is a strong country, now with a restored, positive, and close relationship with the Federal Republic of Germany. We look at the present and feel hopeful. We look at the future and know with certainty that we will continue to rise out of the horror and sadness of the past. We will continue to restore the broken glass and work to make it whole again. Even today, we are picking up the pieces as the cantors and the singers and the violinists and the choir perform their melodious pieces. Through music, we heal. We aim to restore our faith, our Jewishness, our history and legacy based on the memory of that fateful night. We take the memory, heal from it, and with hope, a tikva, we look towards the future and the wonderful things it will bring. As an Israeli representing my country, a country that belongs to all of us, I speak today from a position of strength and determination. We do not stay in the past. We live our lives, taking the worst part of our history to the best part of our future. On behalf of the State of Israel, I would like to thank everyone who was involved in making this evening happen. Loop President Liz Olden, Consul General of Germany Wolfgang Mossinger, Cantors Pavel Roytman, Susie Lewis-Freidman, and David Berger, Lawrence Neuman and King Hu and their son Maurice Neuman, the Kol Zimrah singers and the KAM Isaiah Israel Community Chorale for bringing this beautiful evening together so that we never forget. We will never forget, but we will heal and have everlasting hope for the future. Thank you.
This piece by Cantor Israel Alter, who was the chief cantor of Hanover before he was forced to move first to South Africa and then eventually to America, where he became the teacher of my teacher, Cantor Israel Goldstein, who himself had a family story of being exiled first to England and then to America. This is a piece that Cantor Goldstein himself taught me, and he passed away very recently. And so I want to dedicate this performance today to him, my beloved teacher, who brought the world of Chazanut to me.
I now would like to invite Consul General of the Federal Republic of Germany, Wolfgang Mossinger.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you to the Loop Synagogue community, to Lee and Carrie for inviting me to this commemoration service at the Loop Synagogue. It is always one of the most moving moments of the work of a German diplomat to be invited to such an event. It is like an unexpected gift that the Jewish communities throughout the world not only accept but actively invite the representative of Germany to these ceremonies. We in Germany cannot and we will not assume that this is a normal procedure. Another will be pretend that we understand what it means and what an extraordinary overcoming it must be for survivors or the descendants to listen to the representative of the country which caused so much pain and desolation for the Jewish people and for each and every family of this people. For me personally, it is the greatest honor to speak at these occasions like the one today, and I'm deeply grateful for you to invite me and to listen to me. The motto of the commemoration is memory, healing, and hope. Let me elaborate on these a little bit. Memory. The German government is adamant in preserving the memory of the Holocaust. No child in Germany goes through school without learning about it, usually 3 times at different ages. It permeates the curriculum not only of history but of many other subjects. Students of all ages visit memorial sites like the Holocaust Memorial in Berlin. They speak to survivors. I've met many survivors who travel to Germany to speak in schools and who are surprised by the interest and knowledge of our youngsters. This is a good thing. We want to have a similar interest and knowledge internationally as well. That is why we engage heavily in the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance last year as presidency. It is essential not only to know what happened, but to know why it happened and how it could have been prevented. Only with this intellectual equipment, future generations will be able to prevent similar atrocities. Hearing people comparing mask or vaccination mandates with wearing the yellow star or with the discrimination that Jews had to endure in Nazi Germany is proof to me that we have not yet done enough in teaching and in enlightening people. Healing. This is definitely the most difficult word of the 3. Who are we, the Germans, to talk about healing, about the possibility that survivors and their descendants get over it? It is not for us to make judgments or recommendations about it. We can only be thankful and humble if Jews consider Germany a trustworthy country again, trustworthy enough to travel there or even to live there. What we can do is to earn this trust and to make their lives not only safe, but also meaningful, enjoyable, and worthwhile living. That is what German public authorities are trying to do. We do neither expect thankfulness nor praise. Simply the fact that you live with us, talk to us, laugh with us, is like a gift for us. And hope. Yes, there is hope when descendants of victims and descendants of perpetrators meet, talk, and do research together. If their children sit in the same classrooms or lecture halls at universities, if they work together on books and papers to discover yet more details of what happened. But there's also challenges. Hatred is growing out of polarization. Free societies remain fragile and dependent on the will of the majority to stand up for democracy, tolerance, and respect. So does the international community. I'm proud that Germany nowadays stands on the right side of history, on the side of democracy, of tolerance, and of respect, and that we can work towards these goals, side by side, with our Jewish partners, and may I dare say, with our friends. Thank you for inviting me, for listening to me, for your commitment to memory, healing, and hope, and for your attention. Thank you very much.
Hello, my friends. I am Lee Zolden, the proud president of Chicago Loop Synagogue. Thank you. Thank you. Wait till I say something, then you can decide if you want to applaud. On behalf of the board of directors and staff, I am thrilled to welcome you to our second annual Kristallnacht concert tonight. I'm pleased to be included in the Hope section of our event because ever since I became president almost 5 years ago, hope has been the main emotion I've had. It hasn't been the only emotion, but it's been the main one. And a lot of people here share my view. We are hopeful despite the fact that in February of 2017, we had our own evening of broken glass when someone smashed our windows downstairs and put Nazi stickers on our windows, on our front doors. When I got a call at 1 in the morning to tell me what had happened, all I could think of was Kristallnacht. But we considered ourselves lucky because there was only property damage and that was boarded up within hours, well before people arrived for Shabbat services the next morning. As we remember the Tree of Life massacre that happened in October 2018, or the Poway Synagogue shooting that happened in April 2019, and the countless other anti-Semitic incidents, large and small, that happen around the world all the time, we see our vandalism could have been much worse. And yet, we continue to hope. What we hope for, our vision, is crystal clear, and it is the vision that your support is helping us to achieve. First, we want a synagogue where Jews can gather to pray. Right now, we offer in-person morning services 6 days a week, plus a Zoom egalitarian service on Friday night. Second, we want to find ways to repurpose our building to give us an additional income stream. We definitely have room in our facility and in our hearts to share this magnificent space with a worthy partner. Third, we want to be of greater service to an underappreciated demographic, the empty nesters who live downtown. Older adults need community, and they need involvement with their faith, and that is something we are well positioned to supply. And finally, we want to reach out to the next generation with values-based programming that puts our faith in the front and center of everything we do. If you read the Pew Report, you know that Jewish engagement is declining. But since we are in the center of one of the largest Jewish population centers in the country, we want to be an example of how to reverse that trend. By being here, either in person or at home, you are in the avant-garde of everything we hope to achieve. The people here are not just from Chicago Loop Synagogue. In fact, the people here are not just from Chicago. They're not just from Chicago suburbs. We have people dialing in from California and Florida and every place in between. The use of technology enables us to hope for a more robust future that is unlike anything we have done in the past. Just like we are doing today, we can become a true center, a connection point, a place of inspiration for all Jews, whether they live in Chicago, the suburbs, or beyond. Many of you who are with us today belong to other synagogues, yet you feel drawn to support us. In the same way, we feel driven to support you. We want to keep our tradition alive. Because of our location, we are not just a neighborhood synagogue. We are a synagogue for all Jews and for all forms of Jewish content, whether it be prayer, programming, partnership, or private events. I want to take a minute and be redundant and thank our creative partners, without who this event would not be possible. First, a deep thanks to Lawrence Neuman and Qing Ho, members of the Chicago Symphony Orchestra, who actually started this, reached out to us and wanted to save our magnificent space. And to their son, Maurice Neuman, who is also shared his remarkable talent with us today. Thanks to Cantor Susie Lewis-Freidman and to Cantor David Berger, welcome back. And also welcome back to the Kol Zimrah Jewish Community Singers, and a warm welcome to our first-time partners, the KAM Isaiah Israel Community Chorale. The beauty of your voices has truly uplifted us all. I also want to thank you who are attending, both in person and online. Your support has made this concert an unprecedented success and encourages us to keep going, keep doing programming like this, and keep reaching out to find more ways to serve the Jewish community, no matter where they are. Finally, to Cantor Roytman, over there someplace, Pavel, my gratitude knows no bounds. None of this would be possible without your energy, your vision, your talent, and the incredible generosity of spirit you bring to everything you do. I know from our many conversations that you share our hope for the future, and I'm so pleased that we could partner with you on this magnificent concert today. My final hope is for everyone's health and happiness, and to see you all again at our next event. Shalom.
A prayer for Kristallnacht by Patrick J. Griffin of St. John's University. Great God, from the very beginning of our human story, we are reminded of how we can do violence to our brother and sister. Cain kills his brother Abel, and the blood of Abel cries out to you for remembrance and action. And you do act, and we do remember. What was the reason of Cain? What allowed him to attack his only brother with whom he lived and spoke? How could this have happened? Yet it did happen, and it continued to happen, and it happens in our own day. We gather here today to remember a time when hatred drove brother and sister against brother and sister. The damage of homes, businesses, and sacred places was as nothing compared to the taking of human life and human dignity. And this action marked a step toward greater and more horrible sibling destruction. We remember, Lord, and in remembering we face a frightful truth about ourselves. Yet there is another truth. Before the murder, Cain is warned that sin lies in wait at the door. Its urge is for you, yet you can rule over it. We recognize the possibility of violence, but we can also be those who choose peace and love. We have promised your help to rule over the darkness which seeks to reign within us. We remember today, O merciful God, our brothers and sisters who have died because of sibling hatred. We ask that you bring these innocents to yourself and welcome them at your table. And we ask that you enable us to learn the terrible lessons of our past and allow them to teach us the path of peaceful coexistence for the future. We make this prayer as your beloved children, all of us, and we say, Amen. It is now my honor to invite Cantor Susan Lewis-Freidman to lead us in the memorial prayer, El Malei Rachamim, which will be followed by the words of the mourner's Kaddish. It is a custom to rise. Please do so if you are able. Remembering Saint Elie Wiesel is a noble and necessary act. The call of memory, the call to memory, reaches us from the very dawn of history. Without memory, our existence would be barren and opaque, like a prison cell into which no light penetrates, like a tomb which rejects the living. If anything can, it is memory that will save humanity. The terrible events of the Kristallnacht will forever remain in our collective memory. And yet, it is through this very commemoration that we also reaffirm our humanity and our hope for better tomorrow. May we all strive to create a better world, one in which the broken pieces of glass will join together in a shiny display of light. Amen. Hallelujah.